Hey guys, Neely here. I was just sitting here in the Classic Metal Show studio checking out the website of our latest sponsor, Rock Gear. That's right, if you're a rock fan and you like to wear rock and roll memorabilia, Rock Gear is the place to go. They have a whole line of great merchandise over there that I think that anyone who is a fan of rock would appreciate. They have t-shirts of all your favorite bands, and every product in the store is officially licensed, so while you're shopping for your favorite band t-shirts online, you're supporting the bands. How great is that? And Rock Gear is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. If you're unhappy with any order, for any reason, you just got to contact them. They'll send you a replacement or refund your order. All you have to do is send an email to support@rockgear.store. And not only that, they offer free shipping on all orders in the U.S. over $35. Now, there's a value in itself. And speaking of value, Rock Gear is offering Classic Metal Show fans a 10% discount on your order if you use promo code ClassicMetal. Now, that's badass. So go over there to rockgear.store and make your order today.
There's some Stephen Pearcy right here on your Classic Metal Show with You Only Live Twice. And I was trying to, I dialed Eric and it went to voicemail, and he's like, well, try now.
All right.
So I'm going to try it again.
All right.
Here we go.
We're efficient as ever.
Well, I called and it went to voicemail, and I texted him. I said, hey, we're trying to call you. And he goes, oh, yeah, call now.
Son of a bitch.
All right. Sweet.
Hello.
Hey, Eric, it's Neely and Chris.
What's happening, fellas?
Were you not prepared for us, or what?
I was, but then right at that moment, like, I got a few texts that were coming in. I was trying to get rid of those. I apologize.
Yeah,
I'm ready for you guys.
You know how you get rid of those? You just don't answer them.
They would have kept beeping in.
Well, what's happening, Eric? I haven't seen you since last March, a year ago March already. I can't believe the time has flown by, but you're on the cusp of being on a new CD release for next month, right?
Yes, very excited about it. View to a Thrill, which is the second record we've done for Frontiers. We had a 2-record deal with them. They picked up the option to do the second one. We had a year to get it together, and it comes out November 9th. So I hear that you guys had an advance copy. Have you got to listen to it yet?
I've listened to it 4 times.
What do you think?
I like it. It's a little more straight ahead, kind of ratish sounding, a little more rat sounding. The Smash record, because I loved it so much, seemed a little more diverse, and it had a lot of elements of a lot of classic bands in it. This one is more, what would I call it, specific to Stephen Pearcy and you guys' solo band, rather than, capturing elements of other bands.
Yeah, the Smash was put together over probably a long period of time, actually. That's why it was sounding a little hodgepodgey. Stephen came to me and was like, Frontiers wants us to do a record, and I have these songs we've done that I want to use for it. And I had no idea which songs he was talking about until it was like a week before we had to go in to record it. And he pulled out these old demos, some of them going back to like 2003 or 4. And I was like, oh man, those old songs? And he was like, yeah, I want to do something with these. I was like, okay. So a few of Smash I had given them more recently, just to have some that were kind of newer. But definitely I kind of felt that Led Zeppelin resurgence, coming before like Greta Van Fleet had broke and done their thing. I was like thinking this sound is going to make a comeback, especially with all the shit music that's out today that the kids are listening to. Eventually, it's got to go. The pendulum has to swing the other way.
Right.
Because as of now, it sounds like two fax machines butt fucking each other in the back office.
Certainly, man. Well, dude, talk about some of the writing on View to a Thrill. How much involvement did you have? I know you're kind of slowly but surely you've become Stephen's writing partner, right?
Yeah, that'd be accurate. I mean, the older records, he plays guitar as well. He's an okay guitar player, and he started out playing guitar in the late '70s, and then crossed over to singing. But he had actually written a lot of the songs on the EP for Rat on guitar. So a lot of the earlier solo releases that he did, some of it's him playing guitar. I might have played on some of the songs, but as far as my involvement, it came more mainstream, when Smash came out.
Okay.
Because I wrote all the music for that. He writes the vocals. Same with View to a Thrill.
Right.
View to a Thrill, I just gave him 11 songs. I'm like, this is what I think we could do for this. And I just handed it to him, full compositions, and then he wrote his vocals, kicked it out, it's ready to go.
Nice. Well, dude, you asked us what we thought. What did you think when you heard it back?
Well, it becomes its own thing once you get the studio players in there. We had Scott Coogan come in to play drums. Matt Thorne played bass. We recorded it at MT Studios, which is Matt Thorne's studio in Burbank. So he kind of handles the engineering aspect of it, and that does dictate the sound a little bit, the overall sound. But you just kind of, let all the powers combine, and you let it become its own thing. But, as far as the music, I hear Stephen's voice being able to do stuff over certain ideas I come up with. So I go, this would be good for him. But, you mentioned that this one's more along the lines of Rat. I know Frontiers kind of wrote that in the contract in a way. They kind of said that in there, like, yeah, Smash was great. But if we could have this sound more like Rat, it's like,
well,
okay.
you know what? I love the diversity of Smash, because, none of the songs sound the same at all. But,
right.
But this one here is a little more cohesive. It's how you just said, it has a very Rat element to it.
Yeah, thanks. And, Stephen wanted to do the James Bond, theme to it. So it kind of has that kind of feel, that kind of spy element feel to it. But the continuity's there just probably because of the timeline. This time all the songs were written in a, musically in probably a 3-month period. And then Stephen, we have no idea what he's going to sing over it until we go and record it. And I was there, a couple of the songs he did when I wasn't there, and then like at least half of them I was there, and we would, kind of produce them through it, and he would just come in and knock the song out that day. So it's pretty impressive,
No doubt, dude. Well, dude, let me just ask the elephant in the room question. What the fuck is going on with Stephen?
Yeah, a lot of people are sending me videos and whatnot. I know it's concerning. His lifestyle, that guy's partied his whole life. He's been a rock star, most of his life. He has struggles that we don't all know about, and, everybody's got their own issues and problems. I know they're working through that. I think he needs to tighten up,
Right.
However, maybe needs a little break here or something. But he will come back. He's one of the toughest guys I know.
Right.
So I have faith in him. I think that eventually all this drama will blow over and they'll be able to do Rat shows. I hope we continue to do solo shows just like Bret Michaels or Vince Neil would do outside of Poison and Motley, because he can.
Right.
And what we do is a little different. Now that they're doing that, it would be cool if we could go out and play like half solo songs, and just a handful of the Rat songs, some covers and stuff, and have it be it. I don't want to play the same show they're playing.
Right. Yeah, and dude, from seeing you whenever it was that I saw you a year ago, whenever that was, you guys have your own thing. You really don't need to be playing, and we said this last week on the show, you don't need to be playing Wanted Man or Lack of Communication or you could get away with playing. Steven's got a big enough catalog. I personally would like to hear you playing some arcade tunes and
Sure.
some of Steven's other stuff and a lot of the solo stuff, because there's a big enough body of work now that the solo stuff could have its own life if Steven will let it.
Yeah. In a lot of cases, it's the promoters. In the past, maybe because of the lesser quality of some of the previous solo records, they were like, "Hey, you're not going to play any solo stuff, are you? We want to hear all the Rat stuff." So that always bugged me. And I'm grateful to Frontiers to give us a chance to have at least enough of a budget to put something halfway decent out, because those earlier records were honestly for nothing. They were probably "Here's $5,000, Stephen. Will you make a record? What's he going to do with that?"
Well, we know that some of the quality suffered, on some of the records like Fueler.
Yeah.
That was not good.
Right.
And then he had Social Intercourse.
Mm-hmm. That's about when I came into the band.
Right.
Right when he had put that out.
Yeah, not his strongest stuff, but so dude, what does it look like for you right now? I mean, obviously he's doing Rat stuff right now. Does that leave you sitting in limbo, or do you have a timeline that's been identified when there's going to be work on the new record and touring and that kind of stuff, or what?
The last time I saw Steven was about a month ago.
Okay.
We played a festival in Three Forks, Montana, or something like that. And what he told me was he intended in the first quarter of 2019 to go do some kind of run to promote View to a Thrill.
Okay.
So that's just what he told me. Whether that comes to fruition or not remains to be seen. I know they have a lot of drama they're dealing with over in their camp. Incidentally, when APA dropped Rat, when they found out Warren wasn't in the band, that kind of left Juan and Steven scramble a little bit. So Steven took Rat to our agency, which is TKO.
Right.
And so they've been booking these recent shows. So I don't know if that's going to be a conflict of interest or not. He thinks that they're going to book us shows, where I think that they're probably not going to book us shows because they'll get more money booking Rat shows. So they're going to try to capitalize on that as much as possible right now. There's been some unfortunate stuff that just went down. I don't know how that's going to affect that. So, quite possibly Steven didn't even know if this was going to fly or not. So, I mean, he has that to fall back on. He has a solo career he built, as well. So, which he should have something to do in case they have to take a break or whatever, figure stuff out.
Yeah, but for you, who is invested in it, that's pretty fucked up. That even you can't, and you can. I'm going to say this, but and then I'm going to tell you first. Feel free to not comment because I don't want to cause an issue. But it's very fucked up that your agency that you're paying, you and Steven and whoever, would actually be negotiating against you.
Yeah, he sees it differently. I mean, he's had more experience in the music business than I have. I'm just figuring, hey, they get a percentage of the show. Clearly, a Rat show is going to command more money, so that'd be more money for them. And in the past, when we've had a different agent for the solo band, they would be at odds with each other, because they'd be like, hey, you're booking the solo band in the market where we're trying to book Rat shows, But I always thought we were at a lower tier level. We were playing bars and theaters, You know what I mean? To where they were expected to be playing bigger shows that were in the downtown. We would go to where people fear to go. You know, I mean,
Right.
and 18 years, you know, touring with that guy. I mean, I've had some amazing times out with him and Frankie, and you know, great memories. And whatever happens, dude, it's all good. You know, I mean, I intend to play with other projects and stuff. If I know I have a certain amount of time off, I'm like working on a music project to hopefully show everybody someday, you know, soon. So I have a couple oars in the water there. But, you know, I'm 45, I'm going to be 46 next month. So I wouldn't say like I'm in demand. You know, there's guys half my age that are doing better, probably. So I don't really have much. It's worth it to wait. Let me say that, because, you know, if you can get a gig playing for a classic rock legend, you know, you'll always have that gig. You'll always be able to at least go play clubs or something. You might have some hiatuses where you don't play for 6 months or a year, but you'll be back, you know. And my life's changed too. I mean, you know, touring does get harder on you when you get older.
Yeah, you're
I
ancient,
mean, now
dude.
I'm starting to feel that way. I mean, we used to do like 6-month runs at a time, which is like insanity. Now it's like the last years, it's been mostly fly-out shows. So you're dealing with airports and the TSA grabbing your nuts. One of my biggest peeves.
Well, well, Chris brought up a point here. You know, I'm sure when you guys were active as you know, the Stephen Pearcy Band, when you guys were playing, you know, shows more frequently, when you guys have I'm sure you have some kind of band meeting or something where you guys sit and talk about the set list and whatnot. Both Chris and I are big fans of the arcade stuff. Has that ever been a discussion to say, you know, maybe we want to throw that song into the mix, or has that ever come up?
We did. Over the years, you know, again, it's like 18 years, we've tried all kinds of songs. And, you know, basically you're trying to cater to the majority of the people that are at the show. And some of them know the arcade songs, but not all of them do. Like, if you start noticing on for any song that people just are looking at you while you're playing it and they're not rocking out, it's like, damn, you know, maybe we should not play this song. You know,
so it's the audience reaction that kind of dictates that.
Absolutely, that's awkward when they're just kind of looking at you like they don't know what am I hearing right now. But we have Frankie playing with us usually most of the time. He also plays in Aerosmith, which is like an Aerosmith cover band.
Right,
They're pretty impressive, actually. If you look at them, they're like, holy shit.
Is that Chris Van Daal's band?
Yes.
Yeah, he did he get facial surgery so that he would look like Steven Tyler?
Yeah.
He really looks like him now.
Yeah, and Frankie looks a lot like Joe Perry.
Yeah.
He always has gotten that, you know what I mean? But he's a huge fan of Aerosmith and Zeppelin, and, you know, and all the time, because we've probably driven millions of miles, you know, together. That's what we used to listen to, just like old Aerosmith and Zeppelin. He knows how to play all that shit. So that gig was really right up his alley, and he kind of fits right in with it. But I know that Steven Tyler digs Chris Van Daal and has had him come to Maui to go hang out with him and stuff like that. So he approves of it. I don't know what Joe Perry thinks of Frankie doing that, you know, but either way, Frankie's a classic guy, and he's a brother to me too, and I always enjoyed playing with him. The door's always open for him if he's available to play, to come rock with us, because we just have a good time as friends. It's just it's more of a bro fest on the solo shows, to where Rats always had their issues with each other and stuff like that. It's a bigger stress for Steven. You know, hopefully, you know, at this point it's not so much, because now he's just dealing with Juan, really. I'm sure the other guys are probably certainly easy to get along with, and stoked to have a gig like that.
Right, of course.
Dude, who's the better guitar? Who's the better guitar player, you or Ziff?
He's somebody who I kind of knew from before, and I know he's put a lot of effort into being a soloist, and he's like a sweep picking arpeggio guy, which I don't have time for that shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, so I mean, he's probably he could be technically better than me, but he's not going to write songs as good as me. So.
Nice. Well, dude, what are your expectations going forward? I mean, do you believe that there's going to be a tour in the first part of the year? Or?
I think I put it at 50-50. I'm not banking on it, but that would be cool if it does. I mean, it really depends how things go for them. I mean, because the Pearcy Band worked ourselves up to a certain fee, and if Rat's numbers drop to close to that, that's not going to make Stephen happy. He's going to do what he's done in the past, which is I can just go out and play solo for that. So they need to work their brand back up, I guess you'd say. Make sure they get the money, because he deserves it. After all these years and all the shit they put him through.
Right.
With it, I hope he is able to live out his last years comfortably. And if he's got to do this right now to make that happen, I completely understand.
Wow, it sounds like he's like on his deathbed the way you say that. He could live out his last years comfortably.
Yeah, but
here's a nice fluffy pillow for you, Stephen. Just lay your head back.
I got a pillow for you. No, not like that at all. Not like that at all. He and I talk without talking. So.
well, when we've had...
He'll bounce back.
Well, let's hope so.
Don't underestimate Stephen Pearcy.
Well, we don't, and we love Stephen. I mean, Stephen's been on the show. There was a short time back, boy, I want to say it might have been 6-8 years ago. He would come on the show like every 3 months or so, just to shoot the shit with us, And
let's hope he does that again.
Well, we would like that, and the funny thing is he would just come on and he goes, I like talking to you guys, and he would just like, how Stephen just sits there and just stream of consciousness.
Well, we do love you guys, man, and shit, I owe you guys a thank you for all the laughs you fucking supplied every Saturday. And during the week, if I miss the show on a Saturday, I'm always watching the YouTube clips, because no matter what the fuck you're talking about, it's funny as shit. And we need that. Everybody needs that in the CMS fandom world. We need a little levity. So what you do is a good thing, but never stop doing it.
Well, we enjoy it, obviously. I mean, Chris and I have been at it for a long time. I mean, I think we're going into our 23rd year now.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary, fellas.
Thanks. Well, that's good.
Well, you got me as a fan, man. I'm listening every week, and I appreciate it. I hope the fans pick up View to a Thrill. It's out November 9th. You can pre-order it. They're also doing a limited edition vinyl. I think they had only made like 300 copies of it or something through a company called FYE.
All right.
Online, some kind of special orange colored vinyl thing, special edition for the record. And there's going to be a Japanese version as well. But come November 9th, everybody can get it everywhere. So please pick it up and support, and we appreciate it. We hope you dig it. We made it for you.
Excellent. Well, I've listened to it 4 times already, and it's a very solid, high energy record. I like the energy in it. It's a lot of, there's not a lull in the thing at all.
Yeah, I mean, records for some bands, it's like a snapshot of where your mentality was, at that particular time. And when we started doing that, I mean, he was still like embattled in a lawsuit, and the whole name court battle bullshit was going on. So, I mean, it wasn't until like we were wrapping up the record that he came finally from one of the court things and goes, I got it. I got the name. And I was just like, what? Really? And that just kind of so whatever we had planned or whatever was on itinerary was kind of like on hold at that point. You know what I mean? And so I'm still trying to figure out what's going to happen. That's why I don't really have, definitive answers on what the schedule is. I mean, but when you're involved with Pearcy, put on your fucking seatbelt, dude. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
All right. Well, when you see Stephen, give him our best and let him know it's been a while since he's been on the show, so it's time to come back.
Will do. Will do. All right, dudes. Hail and kill. Fuck you, pal. Hand job.
Well, Eric, what should we close this out with off this new one?
Or you will play whatever you want.
Well, yeah. Well, what do you want us to play?
How about you give them some Sky Falling?
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that. What's going on with that? What's the story behind that?
The story behind Sky Falling, I think it's in part, I think during this court thing, Stephen has had a little bit of vengeance, towards some of the past members and whatnot. So sometimes he falls into kind of directing his lyrics towards them, and sometimes maybe through some other people that didn't believe in him at the time. And I think that's basically it. But also, musically, it has a kind of James Bondish kind of sound to it a little bit.
All right.
It works. The
Excellent.
title, anyway.
All right, Eric. Well, you're welcome to come back on the show anytime. Glad you're a fan and then you enjoy what we do and we enjoy what you do. So the new Stephen Pearcy, View to a Thrill, is going to be out on Frontiers Records November 9th. Go pick it up. Pre-order it on any of your CD outlets, and I think you'll dig it. So, Eric, we appreciate it.
All right.
Thank
you, fellas.
All right, so here it is. Brand new Stephen Pearcy, Sky is Falling, exclusively here. What, Eric?
On the Classic Metal Show.
Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show. We have tons of friends that are musicians, and what they care about most is their gear. If you are a gearhead, then you need to be shopping at Amplified Parts. They have everything from amplifier parts to speakers to effects pedals and more, with some of the best prices out there today. Visit them online at amplifiedparts.com or give them a call at 480-296-0890 and let them fill all of your gear needs today. When your gear is important, only shop with the best, Amplified Parts.